Good morning. Welcome back to Learning with Miss Lee. Today we're going to talk about the things on our earth, the things in our world. Everything on the earth is divided into two groups, either living or non-living. Now all the living things are you and me, animals, birds, plants, trees. The non-living things are the rocks, the dirt, the air that we breathe, metal. All of those things are non-living. We're going to talk about some living things today. And like I said, we have plants and we have animals. Everything is broken into two groups, living, non-living. In the living group, we have plants, we have animals. And then in the animal group, we have two kinds of animals. We have the vertebrates, right here, the vertebrates, which are us. And we are vertebrates because we have a vertebrae or a backbone that comes down from our skull and goes down. If you'll reach behind, you feel those knots going out of your neck and down your back. That's your vertebrae. And there are a lot of animals in this category. And then we have the invertebrates. And those are our animals that do not have backbones. And those are the animals we're going to talk about today. Those are our insects, our creepy crawlers, those things that boys like to dig around in the mud for. And some girls, like me, like to dig around and look for. And so we're going to talk about invertebrates today, the bugs in our world. So, what are bugs? Now, there are a lot of things that we call bugs that aren't insects. They're bugs. But we're going to talk particularly about insects. So those things, those bugs that are true insects. And so how do we determine if it is an insect or not? Well, insects have an exoskeleton. All right, an exoskeleton is the skeletons on the outside. You feel your bones. Your bones are inside your skin, underneath the tissue, underneath the muscles. But insects, their skeleton is on the outside of their body. That's why they're hard on the outside. And if you see beetles, they have that hard outer shell. They look like an army tank. They are so protected from everything outside. Insects have 6 legs. And so that's how we know that it's an insect. There are other insect type bugs that don't have 6 legs but have more than 6. And so they're not true insects. Insects have 3 body parts. Their bodies are broken into 3 parts. They have a head, an abdomen, and then they have a tail. All right. Then we have, just like us, they have 2 eyes so that they can see. They have a mouth so they can eat. And they have 2 antennas that they use to feel around with. They have 2 little antennas, and those antennas help them sense things, sort of like smell, or they can feel vibrations of things coming with them. And so they use those to sort of judge if there's something dangerous around them. And some insects have wings. They have either 2 or 4 wings. Some of them have more, some of them have only 2. So, let's start today's lesson. We're going to draw and diagram an insect. So, you'll need, for today's lesson, you'll need a piece of paper, just a blank piece of paper. And you can use a marker, a crayon, or a pencil. I'm going to use a crayon, and we're going to draw an ant. So we're going to draw his head first. Now his head is shaped like a teardrop. All right, so there's his head. Now we said that he has 2 eyes, and I'm drawing the top of him. So here's his little eyeballs, and his mouth is right here. His mouth is right here. All right. Then he has an abdomen. I'm going to draw his little abdomen like that. And then he's got a tail. And I'm going to give him a little pointy tail. Alright, so this is his head. I'm going to draw a little line and write head. This is his abdomen. And this is his tail. And we also said that they have 6 legs. Now the legs come off of the abdomen on insects. So we're going to draw 1 leg, put a little round foot, 2, 3, and then on the same side, coming off from the same place, on the other side. Alright, so he has this. Now we said that they have antennas. So let's draw his little antennas. Alright, now I'm going to identify them. Draw a little line. This is his antenna. This is his mouth and legs. All right, so we have diagrammed our ant. Now, ants don't often have wings. Some do, some don't. So we're not going to draw wings on our ant today. But this is your ant. You can color him. He can be brown, black. There are red ants. There's even a screaming ant that is black and red with a red stripe. And if you put him in a jar, if you're lucky enough to catch one and you put him in a jar, he'll make this high-pitched screaming noise. We caught one time, and we couldn't figure out what that noise was in our house. And it turned out it was the ant my daughter had caught and put in a jar for her science project. Well, come back in a little bit. I'm going to read you a story about another invertebrate insect. And in another lesson, we're going to build an insect. So, I hope you enjoyed learning about insects, invertebrates, and diagramming them. Enjoy coloring, and I'll be back in a little bit to teach you some more.